Don't tell anyone you were here.
Lavender had the right disposition for a secret alley shop. They distinguished buyers from the shut down your illegal businessmen and grew numb to the waste of 27-story condos. They didn't need luxury or friends or their sister, but I digress.
Hello?
Dear valued customer, this is an automated message from Knock 'em Down Anti-Android Technologies. The field disruptor you ordered on January 15th has been recalled due to problems of spontaneous combustion. Please unplug the machine and immediately contact any purchasers to avoid fires. Please hold for a quick survey on our...
No.
Not quite the comforting privacy, security, and peace of mind Lavender sold at Better Safe Than Sorry. Lav bit their fingernails and spat them into the under-counter trash can. Mom would tell them to stop, but Mom was stuck outside the independent California.
Dawn Catherine Jackson.
The sole customer who bought the recalled machine. Dawn wanted something to prevent her stalker, a data level 5, from using a cam drone outside her house. Lavender gave her a discount. The store served survivors, warriors, activists, and people who assumed everyone else had as many secrets as they did. Customers wanted safety or secrecy, and Lavender sold the illusion that they could get either. Everyone knew privacy was a dusty relic, but Lavender gave a shred of it back. Or they sold them a fire hazard with a sorry men are shitty discount.
You've reached customer 553827. They don't have enough data to receive message. To prevent this from happening to you, subscribe to an incremental data upcharge.
Up yours.
Lavender siphoned their data from the trash and linked accounts in Green Living and City Terrace. The smuggled data got them enough for calls and general searches. It was worse than basic company starter packages, but was more access than most unsponsored. Dawn had to be a 2 or lower.
Fucking data. All right, Dawn. I hope a house call doesn't freak you out too much. Better than a burned down house, right?
Lavender threw a replacement disruptor and an on the house, are bad pepper spray in their backpack and headed out. The fog rolled in with a January orange sunset as Lavender trekked their way further and further from the city. My older sibling always worried less, packed less, prepared less. They left the store with their phone battery at 27% and no concern that walking into the foothills at dusk alone with a low battery might be a questionable decision. Lavender always liked the quiet of long walks. I'd rather, not go at all, but they could walk for hours, claimed it helped them think. Lav hated the public knowledge, public transit system with the customize ads to your biometrics, hidden desires, and thoughts you were yet to have, and selling all details to the highest bidder system. PKPT was faster, cleaner, and more reliable than the public transportation it replaced, but Lavender resented the monetized surveillance, so they walked. Dawn lived in a cabin just outside the city. Horizon Lane ran through a narrow valley flanked by hills of golden grass gone green in the winter rains. Fog sunk heavy into the valley, bringing a chilling wetness to an otherwise mild winter day. Lavender's chest tightened. Reckless as they were, creepy mist-hidden cabins were not their idea of a good time. They just had to switch out the disruptors and get out of there. Lav heard the siren song. Tina's blinking neon bragged about the best fries in the galaxy. Lav remembered their empty stomach. After all, who can resist sweet potato fries, sticky leather, and cheap beer?
Shit. Hi, could I get the Pilsner? And any chance I could borrow a phone charger? Mine just died.
I won't charge your phone, but water's free.
The stud in suspenders poured Lav's drink.
Thanks. And could I get a cheeseburger? Pickles on the side. And I'm in a hurry if you could...
Here you go.
Wow. Thanks.
Lavender gulped their beer and inhaled their burger. To their left, a well-dressed, stockinged 30-something stared into her martini glass, slowly rolling the olive along with her finger. The ceiling dwarfed the bar, high vaulted arches out of touch with the dingy maroon booths. An older couple of black power femmes in big brown lounge chairs chatted intensely over a bowl of greens. Lavender marveled at the prospect of a lesbian bar they didn't know. It didn't look new. It certainly didn't smell new. 6 queers were deep in a game of pool, but Lavender could only see the woman in red. The velvet-clad femme lined up her cue, winked at Lavender, and made the shot. Lav almost choked on their beer. The woman's eyes were mischievous and her arms were strong. She stood, one hand on hip, cue twisting in the other as her competition skirted, but never stepped into the ground she commanded. The burgundy of her dress warmed her deep mahogany skin. Lavender packed their things only to find the woman approaching.
Can I buy you a refill or fries? I noticed you didn't get any, and I wouldn't want you to leave without trying the best thing on the menu.
Lavender considered letting someone's house burn down for a drink with this woman.
I would love to, but can't right now. I need to stop a potential fire.
No is fine. Preferred even.
No, I sell privacy stuff, and someone bought a faulty product that sometimes overheats in a spontaneous combustion kind of way, and I don't want to let her die because I want to have a drink with you. And I do want to have a drink. Or fries with you. Not let her die. I definitely don't want that, which is why I should get going. I really shouldn't have stopped by in the first place, but smells really good.
Okay. Can I give you my number?
My phone is dead, but I have a Sharpie.
Veronica laughed and took the marker. Lavender swooned, reconsidered their stance on name tattoos, and hoped Veronica hadn't noticed their trembling.
Veronica, if you're done flirting, it's your shot.
She's just mad I took most of her money and will leave with all of it. Good luck with the fire prevention. Talk to you soon.
Veronica flipped her hair behind her shoulder as she walked away. Lav didn't stand a chance. They followed Horizon Lane until they saw Dawn's cabin. The house was a botanist lab with the university before they got swankier digs. Now admin rented the cabin to students with particular housing needs. They refused to expel her stalker, but would rent her a cabin for cheap. The door hung open. Lavender fought the urge to bolt and made their way onto the porch.
Dawn? Hello? This is Lavender from Better Safe. I brought a new drone disruptor. The old one had a recall.
Empty. Save some furniture and a scattering of knee-high piles of lavender, dried and stemless, sticky sweet and dew damp. Twin mattress laid unmade on the floor next to a mini fridge and kitchenette. File cabinets reached to the ceiling, flanking a long white desk. Did I mention the giant piles of lavender?
Hello? Anyone? Unnecessary, creepy cabin bullshit.
Lavender scanned the living area for the drone disruptor. If they almost gave themselves a heart attack, they might as well finish the job. It sat on the cabinet, still plugged in, but so far uncombusted. A mug of half-frozen brown water sat on the desk. Mold crept up onto the tea bag and onto the table. Where was Dawn, and when had she last been here? And Lav almost left the cabin. Maybe everything would have been different if they did, but Lavender Black has always been curious. So when they saw a day planner sitting on the counter, they opened it and found a Polaroid of Dawn smiling, beautiful in her literal right there-ness, the closed question, enclosed in a rare and exotic paper trail. Lav threw the book in the backpack, grabbed a handful of lavender, and returned to the road.
Episode 2, Glass Houses.
Lavender hesitated at the station intake. The light brightened as Lav descended into the belly of the shuttle stop.
Hello there. Welcome to your neighborhood public knowledge public transit. You don't even need to badge in. We scanned your identifier touchless during your shuttle. No charge, no data use, and you build public knowledge. Share with the community and get what you're going. PKPT gets you there in 1, 2, 3. Slogan is not guaranteed of actual commute time. Promote survey responses required to ensure a timely arrival. All collected data is company property and may be sold in third, fourth, and fifth parties. Purchase a monthly quiet ride. Add free subscription for silence and expedited travel times.
Lav hated the survey questions almost as much as the DNA sampling. Of course, they were a gene scrambler, which gave off the biomarkers pulled from someone's littered water bottle. People can be so careless with their genetic information.
Would you like to purchase this gray trench coat? We will send one tailored to your exact dimension to address all your files. Would you like to update your payment information? Our scanners are having oopsie, reading your card. Please scan manual for purchase.
No. Fucking adverts.
Who needs secrets anyway? They'd offer me coupons for the antidepressants I was already on, textbooks for classes I considered enrolling in, a dating app profile curator during a long dry spell. Too convenient, too informed. Lavender arrived at the PKPT stop on Dawn's campus and followed the day planner schedule. They found Dawn's classmates after a few awkward questions.
I commute from near the hill too, so I shuttled with Dawn on Thursdays. I'd figured she was sick with something bad. I mean, she rarely flakes, and when she doesn't, she always texts before. She's okay, right?
Dawn missed our class trip to the marine station. We were gonna get high together and touch the fish. I mean, I still did that, but it was way less fun without her.
She's the lead singer of the QTGNCs, and this is the second rehearsal she's missed with no notice. She's never been late before, but Chase went to the campus force, but they said a girl going missing during midterms wasn't the case. They didn't even look into her stalker, Walton Windsor. He graduated to a gold sponsor job, level 5, off the bat, Cloudbox, you know? Please let us know when you find her. The off-forcers aren't even looking.
And so Lavender, lord of other people's problems, took the case. Walton wasn't hard to find. Cloudbach had an open garage, sterile walls, shiny granite floors, keycard activated silver elevators, open access brought to you by 1,000 security cameras and hubris. Lav added flyers collected from campus bathrooms to all the cars and stuck a tracker under Walton's windshield wiper.
Hey, don't you have a pass? You can't promote here.
Free the whales!
Lav ducked under the closing gate and returned to Better Safe to wait for movement. Walton left Cloudbox at 9:37 p.m. The tracker slowed down and parked in a gold-sponsored incorporation south of the Zickerdick Hospital. Lav found Walton's car parked with 3 wheels in his driveway and 1 on the lawn. His new digs were a short ride from Dawn's cabin and still had the sold protection blinking on the front door of a glass box with concrete stairs, walls, and ceilings. Stark for a home, but great architecture for a stakeout. Lavender put the surveillance cams on loop and ducked into the alley behind his house. Walton circled half-packed boxes on the carpet and gestured violently into the air. His movement grew frantic. No one else was in the room, no phone, no headphones, but still he gestured wildly. Lav leaned closer to hear what he was shouting into the air.
Over there! I'll leave you alone. I'll leave this place. I won't follow you again. If you just give me a chance, you would see that I'd take care of.
And then the glass shattered. Lav came to in the bushes. The ringing in their ears made them retch and grasp for air. The world spun as they emptied their stomach onto the cold, wet earth. They surveyed the damage inside. Writing in what looked like smeared coal covered the windows. I'm watching you now. How do you like it? The nausea surged again, and their vision flashed red and yellow as they fell into blackness. Slow veins run in our family. Or should I say stroll? Clad in a graying hospital gown, Lavender woke up to 3 shades of over-enthusiastic eggshell. Their head throbbed.
Hey there, champ.
Veronica stood beside the bed in a deep purple sweatshirt thrown over a magenta slip. Lavender didn't believe their eyes.
You awake?
You're a dream girl, so I'm not sure.
Coming back strong.
Sorry. Pain meds. Residual head trauma.
Hopefully not. Don't touch it. You'll open a stitch. Don't worry. You're okay. Breathe slow.
A wave of dizziness knocked Lavender back into the searing red-yellow lasting black. They floated. Lav smelled shea butter and cinnamon and opened their eyes.
Hello again.
Hey. How long have I been out?
A couple of hours. You were up briefly after the surgery. Stitches. You got 9 of them and have been in and out in the hours since. How are you feeling?
I feel okay.
Veronica's face brightened. Even in a sweatshirt, she looked like sunshine. Few things flustered Lav more than a flirty femme, let alone one whose dimples deepened every time they spoke. Lavender, the sickening romantic, dry heaved into a bucket by the bed.
Can I touch you?
Yes.
Note the overenthusiasm.
Do whatever.
See? Lav spat out between heaves. Veronica rubbed Lav's back and their nausea subsided. Lavender debated feigning a second round of retching so Veronica would touch them again.
Better. Okay. Now, who should we call? I charged your phone. They couldn't get your emergency contact from your ID chip. It's corrupted or unreadable or something. So they called the number on your arm, and I still don't know your name.
Simone.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Lavender. I'm Lavender Black. Simone is my sister. To, emergency call.
So, for the first time in months, Lavender's phone dialed mine. You've reached Simone. Text me and I'll get back to you. I didn't.
Hey, Simmy. Sorry we haven't talked in a while. I hope school is going well. Call me when you can.
I didn't. Who says call when you can in the hospital after surgery with a rando? They always did prefer the company of strangers.
You must be starved. I brought outside food. The cafeteria used to be okay, bad, but after the budget cuts, it got dangerous bad. Come in with a broken leg, leave with food poisoning. I don't know what you eat, so I ordered pizza, veg dumplings, squash soup, and almonds if you're vegan. So sorry if you're a vegan with a nut allergy.
Could I have the pizza and the soup? Also, what happened?
Neighbor heard some guy screaming and called an ambulance. They found you in the bushes, bleeding pretty badly. They gave him a sedative to get him in the ambulance and brought you with him. He's in the psych ward. He do this to you?
No, it was the windows. Did they find anyone else in the house? He was stalking this woman, Dawn, a customer of mine, now a missing person, and he was yelling like at someone. She could be locked in a closet or something.
They searched the place, but didn't find anyone else or whatever cut you. You in the habit of dangerous rescue missions, fire prevention, disappeared damsel?
Only when duty calls. Do they know what broke the windows?
The off-forcers that brought you in didn't mention that. There were mounds of soot on the carpet, though. Wouldn't be my first choice of decoration, but that was it.
Some
No broken windows.
Something exploded. I had glass in my forehead. Could we scan the glass to analyze the explosives?
There wasn't any glass in your wound, and the force didn't find a weapon. Hold still. You've got blood on your forehead.
I hope you didn't have any plans for the day. What day is it?
Friday. You fell last night.
They flinched as Veronica's hands dropped from their face. The absence of contact stung like a cold wind when you just got out the ocean.
Is the security force going to ask me questions?
You're not a member of the incorporation you were found in, so you're not their business. You're lucky they didn't charge you for transport. What happened?
Are you sure Don wasn't there? He was talking to someone.
They searched the home and grounds and didn't find anyone.
I have to ask him a few questions. Do you know where he is?
They're holding him in the psych ward. The nurse wouldn't tell me anything, but he was babbling when they brought him in. I'd guess some kind of breakdown, exhaustion, maybe.
Exhaustion doesn't break glass.
The glass wasn't broken.
That doesn't make any sense.
Shh. I'm only telling you what I know. And you should cool it on the questions until we get out of here. We don't need you as Walton's bunkmate. Hospitals give me the chills.
You believe me, don't you?
I do. But they won't. So let's drop it for now.
Why do you believe me?
Nurse, can we get the release forms?
Veronica dodged the question and Lav didn't bring it up again. Imaginary glass doesn't cut. Veronica called a car and Lav added their address.
Sorry you had to take off work.
Sorry you woke up with a new scar.
Thanks for staying. And for the food. And for the ride home. Are you usually this nice to strangers?
No.
Turn here. That's my store on the left.
You're going back to work.
I live upstairs. Makes for a short commute.
Better safe than sorry. Cute.
All mine.
Lav gave her a free mini safe disguised as a can of WD-40. I would have gone for a cuter thank you for non-shitty food in the hospital when we only met in a bar present, but Lav made the offer with blood fresh on their temple, so you can only ask for so much.
Could you disprove a theory?
What theory?
Blind testing works better. My ex has gone missing.
Like missing a reconciliation brunch or missing?
We were supposed to have dinner to talk about her upcoming exhibition, labels for her work, gauge out pricing. She wouldn't miss something like this. Well, unless something really big. I text to check in, nothing. I call, I email, DM her friends. I finally get to her roommate who's been freaking out because he hasn't seen her in days.
And her incorporation security force?
A DT is a queer, dark-skinned Hindu who did an unauthorized mural series on refugees murdered by enforcement. On the streets where those off-forcers lived, her pieces caused a press fever more than the murders did. Her roommate filed a missing persons report, but I see them more as a suspect than an ally.
You think they have her?
I'm not sure. That's why I need you. I know you have a lot on your plate with Dawn, but her imitator has a gallery opening tonight, and we need to stock it out.
Stakeout?
That's what I said. If you want the case, I'll pay.
I want the case, but
I need some perspective, and that's something you have. Just come with me.
Veronica practically ran Lavender back to their house. Lav had spit stains before they even made it to the street.
My place has the magnolia tree by the stairs.
Fragrant blooms on succulent lines steep as fuck street. Dusty blue rosettes in toddler-sized terracotta pots lined the kind of hill you'd see in bids for the city. A trendsetter in pricing out. Veronica lived in an old Victorian with packages unopened and unstolen on the porch.
You doing okay? Head feeling fine?
head is okay. It's the heart I'm worried about. More stairs?
One flight. You want tea? I still have some of her stuff, so I figured it would help to see it before we go to the show. Get an idea of her before you meet her pale shadow.
The apartment was covered in maroon and purple Persian rugs. The plants from the porch multiplied inside, little pots sitting on shelves and cupboards and end tables. Lav picked one up.
I sell some of them. I'm not just a compulsive collector.
They made their way to the bedroom, and Lav's palms started to sweat. Veronica's room had periwinkle walls covered in posters of political prisoners, all women in neon and pastels. Books spilled off shelves, forming towers and pools on the floor.
Please excuse the mess.
They already had.
It's no problem. Show me everything.
Bold request.
The case files? The files. Her stuff, the stuff you said you have.
To your right. She never came to pick these up.
Boxes with Aditi scrawled in thick Sharpie, filled with letters, handwritten and lipstick stained, grated peppers, representations of goddesses in contemporary photography, A-. Potential bills from residencies and MFA programs, a photo, Aditi whispering giggles to an old woman in a sari, her grandmother. They ignore the photographer as her parents grin at the camera holding the fresh diploma. Jars of turpentine and ticket stubs to a trapeze act.
Any chance she ran off to join the circus?
Oh, those are from my showcase. I did silks.
And there Veronica was on the program, pelvis overhead, 30 feet in the air, fabric wrapped around each leg falling from her feet in an inverted straddle.
I toured with that group. That's how I got here, actually. We stopped on tour and I stopped touring. It's how I got into healing. I helped folks with fabric burns or a dislocated shoulder or two. I ended up spending more time doing that than aerials. If you're done with that box, I have 3 more in the corner there.
Was this a missing person case or just lesbian drama?
Have you talked with her family about this?
Her parents never liked me. Her grandma did, but she passed last year. I'd rather not get them involved.
Their daughter is missing.
Might be missing. No need to stir the pot if she comes back next week.
Then why hire me?
I don't think she's coming back. I want to be sure.
Her family will notice.
Not until after we're sure. If you're any good, okay? Aditi hardly speaks to her parents. I'm starting a veg curry. You want any?
Sure.
Yell if you get lost.
Veronica left Lavender with 4 boxes of her ex's shit. Lav imagined their post-wedding conversation. How'd you meet? Well, she hired me to look into her ex's disappearance. When one partner goes missing, you hire the next to do the investigating. Lav needed a grip and some distance, but they wouldn't get either. Have you ever met a Veronica who was good news? A letter peeked out of the box closest to the door. The handwriting bigger, rushed and underlined, angry. You don't get to play God with me. I determine my own fate and you can suck an egg. Not my kind of angry, but a start. Why did they break up and when?
Episode 4, Pants on Fire.
When a femme asks for your help, they want to watch you work. They don't need you. It's a power play. A rebuttal to lost girls in the woods and women in refrigerators, a siren call, and Veronica croons beautifully. The looks, the tone, the needing glances. She could lure you into a pit of howling jackals.
Are you dressed yet? Can I come in?
In a minute.
Rav started to sweat and chose the dark jacket. It hid pit stains, the gray would not.
You look fantastic.
And they did look dapper. The siren posed in response, highlighting her hips in a curve hugging off-the-shoulder crimson number. The two of them dressed more for a date than a stakeout. Veronica's cheeks warmed as Lav took her hand.
Let's stake out an art show.
The show was near the Arts College, a digital playground frequented by the IPO kids looking to spend their money on some culture. Most of the works were mixing realities, projections, AR lenses, algorithmic lights responding to walking paces. Some said the emotions of crowds. An ethereal playground created so you could forget where you were. And sponsored pop-ups of edibles, alcohols, and vaping sections just in case the work didn't get you there alone. Lav and Veronica came early, but still had to get in a line that wrapped around the block.
Mind if I smoke?
Not at all.
Veronica took out a long, thin, golden cigarette holder with a delicate blunt at the end.
So, you think Thatch kidnapped your ex?
I see you still working on subtlety. It's possible, but I hired you to answer that question. What do you think?
Veronica checked over her shoulder and drew a long breath. The blunt burned orange.
I think more information would help me find her faster. Who was this guy and what was his relationship to Aditi?
Thatch is her pale shadow, an empty paper bag who's never had an original thought in his entire life, so he steals and repurposes. He went to school with Aditi. They were friends at first. Then he stole her thesis for a term paper. Then all his final projects weirdly resembled whatever she told him about her ideas. She got tired of the professors lauding him for poorly executed versions of her ideas. So she told him about this idea that would be a bitch to execute just to see if he'd copy it. And he did. He gathered shit from zoos to make portraits of the zoo kept, a commentary on artificiality and our relationship to nature. He got an honorable mention for that piece. Even Aditi's fake ideas got praise. She left school after that, a semester before graduation. I tried to convince her to go back, but she wanted to wallow. Without university enrollment, she lost data access back to level 1. She couldn't call anyone without hour-long surveys or daily AI training. Instead of going back to school or transferring or doing gig work, she'd sit at home brooding. I'd encourage her to get out of the house, and then we'd fight. She'd storm off every week, then twice a week, then most nights. So I ended it. She started doing ride-alongs for the self-driven cars for basic data. And then on February 3rd, she called me back, reached out about her exhibition, a gallery that would let her set up her stuff this Wednesday night. She seemed happy. The best I had seen her before her grandmother died.
Were you trying to get back together?
No. We were done. I knew that. She knew that. But we said we'd keep in touch. She wanted help blurbing and pricing her work for the show. So we set a date, a time to meet and eat and review the drafts. But she didn't show. Then her roommate called me saying her rent was due, and although they were an art collective for the people, they had a waiting list and would fill her bed by the next day if she didn't pay.
You said you went looking and then called the roommate.
Yeah, I forgot who called who, but I was looking, they were looking, and no one knew where she was. And then I met you, and here we are.
And you think this show will tell us what exactly?
The crowd has heard anything, if Thatch did something, leads on some underground co-ops or illegal art communes. Aditi refused to go back to her parents, so maybe she took some sketch sublet or smuggled herself out of state. She used to talk about artist colonies in Reno.
They reached the warehouse entrance. The first room was decorated like the great hall of a decaying castle. Long tables with projections of bugs squirming out of goblets and maggots writhing on silicon fruits and meats.
I didn't know it was a haunted house.
Horror nerds like art school.
Lav liked horror exclusively in October. Smoke poured out of a fountain on their left. They couldn't tell what was projection, mirror, or prop, a funhouse.
This used to be a pallet warehouse, burned down in early secessionist riots. Some call it haunted, others cursed.
Charming.
That's nothing. Aditi's old studio is a former psych ward. We should get to Thatch's piece after this room.
They opened the door to a candy apple vinyl room. Red bulbous drips hung from the wall and ceiling, and heat fell from the vents, like the inside of a lava lamp.
Grad art exhibitions. Welcome to hell.
Veronica opened the door to reveal Thatch's room, a series of 5 giant chairs holding beanbags shaped vaguely like bipeds. Portraits were projected onto the beanbags, mouths gaping like dummies after a magic show.
Unbelievable. You can see him copying Aditi's style. She coupled audio with portraits, played with home furniture at odd scales, and she did a lot of interviews, mostly with elders. She basically grew up at her grandma's old folks' home. She'd fight with her parents and end up staying at her grandma's, playing poker with the card sharks or bingo with the guppies. Aditi said her favorite part of her youth was at that home. She went to a lot of funerals for her kid, though. When she got older, she got more interested in documenting their stories. She'd do portraiture of the women in the home. She started off charging $0.25 to keep her work and never upped the price. Kept the change for laundry. Did you feel that?
No, feel what?
That. You don't feel anything.
Veronica looked nervous, scared even. Lav had never seen fear in her face before. The crowd quieted as someone tapped on a champagne flute. Veronica flinched.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I hope you choke on your words.
on behalf of the graduate artists here, welcome to my incredible show. My name is Thatch Thayer, and I was selected.
Veronica darted through the masses to one of the pieces, a woman in red. Veronica lost her color and stared and bolted towards the door. Thatch started to cough, and then the faintest trail of smoke came out. Lavender felt the room temperature rise. The beanbags started to burn, and the crowd jostled through the door. Thatch stared in horror and threw up. Lav couldn't see Veronica, but saw the red woman's portrait through the flames. She winked, and suddenly all the sprinklers started. But before a droplet hit the ground, the fires went out all at once. A furious woman in a sheet black jumper with platform red bottoms barreled towards Thatch.
Do you have any idea how much this lighting system costs? We only said yes to hosting your show because your mother begged. But this, even she can't fix this for you. Find another venue for your E-list efforts.
Thatch sat by the charred remains of one of his pieces.
The soot.
Lav leaned down. The piles of soot were waist high and more gray than black. They rubbed a pinch between their fingers, then smelled it. It smelled like rosemary. Lav rescanned the crowd and saw Veronica checking in on rattled patrons.
You're going to be fine. Rub some aloe on that and your skin will heal faster and smoother.
Hey,
Hey, you.
Veronica took out her phone, swiped a blank screen, and pretended to type.
Oh, shoot. I should get going. Family stuff.
what do you mean? You said he was the main lead.
A possible lead?
The only one you gave me.
I don't need you to look into this case anymore. Thank you. I should go.
Veronica parted the growing sea of well-heeled onlookers dressed in black, a cardinal cutting through a flock of ravens.
Am I a bad date or a bad detective? Wait for me. Stop!
Lav ran after Veronica until they reached an outlook facing the bay. Veronica sat on the dock with her heels next to her for company.
Veronica, what the fuck? You asked me to look into your ex's disappearance and then you abandoned me after a fire?
I'm sorry. I left. My theory was right. Aditi is fine and she doesn't want to come back. You can drop the case.
A woman is missing. A woman you loved is missing.
Aditi isn't my Aditi anymore. But she will be fine. Aditi left and she's not coming back.
Where did she go? You asked me to find her.
I asked you to test a hypothesis.
What aren't you telling me?
A lot, but I'm also telling you the truth. Aditi is fine and you will not find her. Trying will only get you hurt. Drop it.
Veronica picked up her shoes and walked off barefoot. Lavender stood frozen, confused, alone, and jumped when their phone rang.
Have you heard from your sister?
I make bets with myself on how long you can wait before steering our conversation to Simone. 10 minutes? 2? Less than 3 seconds? This may be a new record.
When did you last talk to your sister?
In January before your birthday. She wanted me to pay for half of the things she bought you. What's up?
Have you seen her since?
Lavender wondered if disappearances could be contagious.
She's missing.
When did you last talk to her?
My birthday, and it must have been a few expensive spa package because it was great. You should split it.
I got you earrings.
And I love them. But your sister doesn't own a store.
I don't own the whole store.
You know what? You know what I mean. Heavens. I called to let you know that your only sister is probably ground liver in the back of some pervert's truck and you want to argue semantics.
Sorry.
Was she meeting internet people for dates at rusty gas stations? I told her not to do that.
I don't think she was online dating at Chevron.
Oh, your sister is missing.
I'm looking into some other missing women.
A serial killer?
No. Well, probably not. I mean, definitely not. Simone is definitely probably sulking or lost in finals or on some outer territory research trip she never mentioned.
She hasn't answered my calls, so I ordered delivery. Roasted plantains, jerk chicken, and they're still on her doorstep.
How do you know that?
Well, I asked for them to add a camera to the basket. Sue me.
Really, Mom?
Yes, and I could see a pile of unopened mail at the door and your sister is missing. Simone is gone and her door hasn't been opened once since the delivery.
You're sure?
Yes.
Then I need to go.
What?
Don't worry, Mom. I'll find Simone. I'll call when we're together.
I love you too. You know that, right?
I know, Mom. Talk soon.
So my mom guilted them into looking for me. Classic. Lav ran to my apartment, my classes, the school library, the public library, but spoiler alert, I wasn't there. So Lav put on their big person pants and went back to Veronica.
Hey, Veronica! I need to talk to you. It's urgent.
No.
Please, please help me. My sister is missing.
No, you must be.
She fits the mold. A third queer woman of color gone without a trace the first week of February. I don't care about what you've hidden before. I can forgive all of that if you just help me find my sister.
You sure?
Absolutely. Now, is she okay?
She's likely fine.
Likely fine?
God forbid she go fishing outside of my bay. Your sister's fine. Maybe changed, but will you come inside? You'll want to be sitting for this, and we should be alone.
Is she in some cult? Swamp people?
No, well, not exactly. Just follow me.
What is happening?
Just tell me about your sister.
Um, she's smarter and weirder and younger than me. More annoying. Bad with people. I mean, I don't really like people, but she does. But she's like, she gets weird, man. We used to be close, though. She's really good at languages, caring about old books no one else has read in 100 years. She goes to college for free. I dropped out and I'm still in debt. I'm sorry, where is she? What are you looking for? Do you really need that to get going?
Would you run into a burning house without water?
Depends on the day I had.
We need to be safe. We need to be prepared. Just because Simone is safe doesn't mean we will be.
Where are we going?
Veronica ignored Lav and moved to the black leather chest under her window, unlocked the padlock, then a smaller lock, then a lock on the inside of the trunk floor, and then another that opened up to reveal lots of paper.
Come on. Come on. Here we go. Here we go.
She pulled out a small porcelain dove with intricate gold leafing that almost moved in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
The box opened on cue. Veronica pulled out a lock of black hair 4C. She went back to sifting through the papers and pulled out a map of the bay.
If we need directions, I can.
No. Stay silent for, say 5 minutes. I need to concentrate.
Veronica held the hair over the map and it started to burn. She clutched the burning hair in her fingers without wincing. No lighter, no matches. Lav shuddered. Veronica pointed to the ash-covered green diamond on the map.
Here.
No offense, but I don't think.
You don't know Jack all. And given the importance of finding your lost little one, it's a new moon tonight. And I don't have time to explain every little thing. You need to shut up and trust me.
Why? Dawn and Aditi just disappeared into the ether, and now you won't tell me where my sister is.
She's there.
Veronica pointed to the map again and started rubbing the ash into the crystal pendant on her necklace.
Shit, it's almost dark. It's almost dusk. I was going to come out eventually. Give me your arm.
Veronica grabbed Lav's far arm and dipped it into the trunk with her free hand. She brought out a gold blade.
Where is that going?
And dug.
Ow! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Line from Lavender's wrist to their elbow. Lav tried to wrench away, but they couldn't move at all. I told you, no Veronica is good news.
I am sorry. It's just easier this way.
The pain stopped. A warm drop of blood hung in the air. Lav could feel the warmth radiating from Veronica's hands, more solid than flesh. Lav felt panic leave their body. The cut was still there, but it no longer hurt.
Look at your cut.
What are you doing?
You know, you can feel it.
Lav's skin pulled tight around the wound and it started to mend. Lav could feel it, like a seam erasing, like two pieces of clay becoming one again.
How did you?
Same way we're going to find your sister. Let's go.
Lavender didn't want to believe it, but Veronica convinced their wound to close. The healing, like a flower blooming from seed in seconds, a growth sweet, but at an eerie, ungodly speed.
We should get going now. Our car is here.
Veronica held Lav's hand, and to Lav's disbelief, they let her. They rode in silence.
By the gate is fine. Thank you.
Do you know what we're looking for? Or are we just going to wander around a cemetery for a couple hours while my sister is kidnapped?
Talk more and end up with a plot here. I need to focus. Pick up the pace. We don't have much time.
What is happening?
Match my footfalls and don't touch anything. See anything spark or split or twist menacingly, describe it to me and don't move.
They trudged deeper into the wood. The treetops glowed in the fading sunlight. Lav would have called it beautiful if they weren't busy shitting their pants. They wondered if our mom lost 2 children, would she smuggle herself into the independent California searching for ghosts?
Are you sure she's here? I mean, if you want to murder me and throw me in an open grave, can you at least do it quickly?
Octavia loves an atmosphere.
Veronica mumbled something under her breath, and the trees parted like a crowd. They followed the path to a clearing with the sun low over the tree line.
She'll be in there. She may have decided to join already. I'm sorry I didn't get you here earlier. I didn't realize Octavia would be moving this quickly. She's usually more careful than this.
They stood in front of a house, hand-cobbled dark wood panels and climbing vines. The building screamed, "Stay away." Lav swore it bristled as they moved closer. Veronica spoke to the house like a tamer convincing a tiger not to maul.
We can enter now. She knows we're here.
My sister?
No, mine.
No news for years? Today, what do you want? I'm a little busy at the moment.
Good to see you too. Is Mom here?
No, it's just me and mine.
You have their sister. We're here to get her back.
Simone, please let her come home.
Oh, this is rich. How did you find them?
They came to me.
You never could resist a strong sleeper.
Is Simone here? Simone! Simone, I'm here!
Lav made it into the foyer, and there I was, standing in all white, looking amazing. I didn't know they were coming. Hadn't thought they'd go this far for me. Hadn't expected to be missed. Lavender?
Oh, thank God. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. How did you get here?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Running off like that. Mom was convinced a gas station serial killer buried you by the highway.
I'm fine. You should go.
I came to save you.
Thanks, but I'm good. I chose to be here with friends. I'm a part of something now bigger than you can understand.
Did they brainwash you? I guess you can't answer that. Did you brainwash her? Is this a cult? Did you join a cult?
Octavia took a break from arguing with Veronica to take a look at my sibling. Lav looked back and saw Octavia, a tall black femme floating down the stairs.
The fuck are you?
I'm Octavia, Veronica's sister. Would you like to join my coven?
Take Simone and go.
I'm staying, but Lavender can leave.
Fine with me.
I'm not leaving without her. The floaty one is your sister?
You should join us. Learn to float too.
I was drawn to you specifically and your special ass one-of-a-kind energy. Now you're just recruiting anyone?
Your sibling is not just anyone.
Lavender came with me, and they're not getting involved in this.
You brought them to a creation night. That's involved.
Why didn't you mention your sister kidnapped my sister?
Again, chose to come.
Veronica doesn't like to talk about me.
I wasn't totally sure.
You
I
can't
just
fail your family when you're busy pretending they're all dead.
I left because I had to. Do these girls have any idea what they're joining?
Number one, grown people. Number two, yeah, she laid it out pretty clear. Witches, magic, coven, sold. Can we get started?
Not sold, and no.
Daylight is fading. Get Dawn and a DT.
Simone, wait. What are you doing?
Becoming a witch, obviously.
She really sold you on the moon.
You haven't gotten there yet.
How can they agree to anything that they don't when they don't know anything? You can't pull people into that orbit without any context.
They get to choose on every step of the way. Remember? And what does your friend here know about you? Where you were born, how old you are.
I don't give a fuck. Let me take my sister and leave. Keep the rest. I don't know what this fucked cult shit is, and I don't need to. Simi, let's go.
This is not a safe world for witches.
This is not a safe world for our black asses anyway. If I'm gonna be unsafe, which, duh, welcome to America, I might as well be unsafe with some cool ass magic.
Have you ever been hunted before?
Aren't you tired of running, Veronica? Don't you want to feel powerful again, like we used to? Are you sure you don't want to be a witch, Lavender?
Don't bring them into this.
You are literally the one who brought them here.
Yep, and look at that, it's gotten late. Really time for us to get going. Don't want to overstay our welcome. Simi, please.
I was burying myself in stories so I could almost forget the world I wanted to give to the children I wanted to have had all gone up in flames. And then Octavia found me and said, here, this thing you've always read about, always wanted, this thing you could have that would make you feel like at least if the world is falling apart, you can do something to pick your people out of the rubble, have something that makes you feel like you can actually survive this nightmare of a future, and you want me to give that up? For what? So you can feel like you saved me? Where were you? Oh, over the last 3 years or so. You didn't even know I was missing until Mom called you. I found a new family now. You can clock out of pretending to care. I'll make you and Mom forget about me. No harm, no foul.
All foul. I'm not leaving without you.
I'm not leaving. Everything I ever wanted is here now. I love you and I'm sorry, but I'm staying. Please go.
Then I'm staying too.
If you stay, you'll change. You don't understand the world you would join, the danger this would put you in.
I'm staying.
Oh, okay. I can make this work. The more we are, the stronger we'll be.
You can't change 4 at a time.
I can try.
Lavender, are you sure you want this?
Sure? Fuck no, but I can't leave Simi.
Fine.
Not again.
I'll help. I'll help.
I didn't ask for your help.
But you need it. And that will do.
I ran into the unknown to be lost, to be forgotten, to become someone new. But Lavender found me and stayed. They always ran, but this time they ran to me. And we became something new together. Finn. Thank you all so much for coming. I would love to stay and chat with all of you, but this Zoom needs to be used for the next person literally at 9 p.m. So it is time to go. I love all of you. Thank you so much for your support. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Love it. Thank you.
Great job, you guys.
Congratulations.
Well, it's okay.